Hello and welcome to the Man of Thought, aka the Villain of Truth, aka the Black Panther of Nigeria. How are you all doing? Hmm. Someone once said, "Problem, they finish." An adage in the Yoruba culture will say, "Kò sọ́gbọ́n tó lè dá, kò síwà tó lè wù, kò sọ́nà tó lè mọ̀, tó lè fi táyé lọ́rùn o." I have few things that I want to discuss about so we can learn and we can grow from it. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Okay. Good evening, my brothers and sisters. Yeah, thank you. Uh, Tana to let her let her open it on the WhatsApp. I'll be here to check on you guys just a little, and then I like to say Pascal Lemus, France Paris Est. Ah, that one pass me. Oh. Good day, everyone. Hello, bro. Lero Rompi. How you doing, sir? Hello, my regards. Good day, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is African time. This is already nine, almost this is 9:11. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. You're not putting on clothes. But I'm talking to my audience now. Maybe tomorrow we'll make our time. Now once you come back from lesson. Uh, you give your mom back. I thought before you write anything, did I not put on? Okay, I put on my subscriber stuff now. So I think the France guy is asking else. I'm actually willing to discuss with people who knows exactly what they're saying. Um, I don't understand what you're saying. I'm not France, and I'm not a gay, and I don't identify myself with gays. I'm from Africa. We do not support it. We do not condole it. This is not about singing kumbaya. It is just the reality that we don't condole it. Whatever might be the reason for it, we don't know. People might argue that there's a perception, there's a reason, there's this, and that's why people are what they are. But at the end of the day, where there is no law, there is no sin. And when you don't put certain things under control, something takes over. That's simple. We know this. If you give the whole world the opportunity to do the way they please, just for one day, humanity will almost be extincted within a period of 48 hours. Humanity would almost be extincted within a period of 48 hours. So trust me, I do not hate on anyone, but at the same time, I know my lane. And you see, one of the problem we have in today's society is that it is so ironic and so embarrassing that whenever we are live or we are having conversations, if it was a lady who was to approach me or to talk to me and she likes me, she would say, "Are you married? How old are you? Where do you come from?" Those are the things she would ask me. If I was a man, if I am a man and I see a lady and I go towards a stream and I love her, I would say that, "How are you? Can I get to know you? You look beautiful." We complement each other. But when it comes to the idea of some of these alphabetical people called the LGBTQ and the rest of it, most times they just go on your stream and they say, "I like your ding dong. I like this. Let's be this. Can you give me your phone number? Can you pull off your shirt? Can you pull?" Like, this is where I see the mentality, and it looks so totally unacceptable, regardless of the idea of free speech. It's absolutely unacceptable in society, in a sensible society, because everything majority of them lead by is by their genitalias. You do not see people on live and you ask them, "How you doing? How's your day? How's life? Yeah, the challenges in my life," and the rest of it. Majority of the time, you prove yourself, and without no regard, you just speak whatever comes in your mind. And you think the world should accept it simply because you have a challenge and the world is not applauding you, or certain individuals are applauding you when they should be delivering you. Some of you need help. Ah, Jaguar 23. I'm doing fine. Well done, sir. I decided to come live before, just hoping. I told my audience I would be coming, but few things came up. I did a video, I uploaded it, and I was like, okay, maybe before I sleep or take my time off, let me just come on live and see what's going on, how people are actually doing. Thank you very much. I hope you are having a great weekend, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Oh, we're doing great. Today's Sunday, and I decided to take some rest, just watch my family out there. Oh, sound distortion. Oh, sorry. I think it's fine now. Okay. Yeah, I said today I made a decision to just relax, look at the things that God has done in my life, the idea of just look at the children, look at the family, look at everything, reflect. And so earlier today, I came live to tell people to find a way to appreciate God for every single thing. I had to narrate some of my story about some of my house that were being destroyed, part of my properties that were being burnt down previously when I have no place, when I used to sleep on the dungeon. They call it dungeon or dustbin. Yes, on the dustbin where they throw waste. So right now it's a different subject. It's a different space in mind. But if we do not have the ability to thank God, we might not be here. Everything my parents taught me was how to be grateful every single time. Hello, Lisa. How you doing, ma'am? Happy Sunday. When I came live this afternoon, I had an intention to talk a little bit about Anunnaki, but I saw that you were not live. And so my audience joining me during this time, we just decided to talk about appreciation. So I had a plan that I was going to touch on Anunnaki subject this afternoon, but it seems you were not available during that time. Yeah. I uploaded a video not quite long about dating and encouraging. Yeah. Early this morning I had an episode earlier this morning when I talk about dominance, why one needs to be careful about the spirit of domination. Um, says if you cannot thank God, then there is truly something wrong. Yeah, there's truly something wrong with the individual. We know it is difficult for you to, you know, you don't lost your parents, you don't lost people in war, and you rejoice. BK, hello, how you doing? You don't lost someone in war and you rejoice. During those time, it is for you to actually reflect. And Bible says something about time and season. So there comes different time and seasons, the time for you to cry, the time for you to laugh. But the idea about appreciation is not for you to get stuck in the emotions or the experience you are feeling. Yeah, it's great. I'm happy to see your chat, BK. How you doing? Imanshu girl. Been a while. On the idea of Lisha, when we talk about the subject of Anunnakis, the reason why I'm very careful to talk about subject of Anunnakis is that sometimes I'm this kind of person who I get to a zone whereby I want to be very blunt because that is the only way I can fully express myself. But sometimes you have to look at YouTube term, you have to watch the way you speak. And when I'm becoming too careful of my words, it kind of slows my thought process. You remember? Definitely I did. Mushroom girl, I did. I remember you. I don't just know. I kind of once you write to me, I can I can always remember you whenever I see your write up, regardless of the time it takes. I'm just lucky with that. In the idea of the Anunnakis, any question can come in, BK. Anybody can ask any question. In the idea of Anunnakis, let me just branch on it a little bit. You cannot believe in in the culture of Anunnaki and then you believe in any religion that exists after then. Because when you look at, I'm very interested in hearing your understanding of what the Anunnaki as an African and how the story was passed down to you. Well, when we look at it, you would realize that the story of the Anunnakis is more or less like it was written by I think they call them Assyrian, Babylonians, Akkadians, and Sumerians. These are the people who wrote the story of the Anunnakis, not specifically African. But some of our traditions, we picked up some things vital from that incident or from that story. I also have my small story. Can I text? One of you relax. No problem, Imanshu girl, you can proceed. And when we look at the story of the Anunnakis, I think the stories of the Anunnakis was around 4,000. Is it 4,000? It was written around 2,500 BCE. 2,500 BCE. Around 4,000 BCE or 2,500 BCE. And when you look at it, you can also say that the distance between that time and when the Bible was written by Moses, Moses was the first person who wrote religion or Christianity, or let's just say to the Israelites, you would realize that the distance was over 1,500 years. That means there was 1,000, there's a century before the time of Moses. So, how do Moses understand the Anunnakis, or how does he understand the beginning of the world when the Sumerian and the Akkadians were already existing before the Israelites, before Abraham, for over 1,000 years? So the story of the Anunnakis is older than the beginning of the Bible for more than 1,500 years. So they also have the stories of how There are deities that came to earth, and this that happened, and that happens, and the rest of it. And then when you look into the scripture itself, you would realize that in the Bible, in the Ethiopian Bible, which has the 88 books, even in the 66 books, that's the King James Version and the rest of it, they deliberately removed the story of Enoch. So, for us to explain this whole thing, because the Bible was written around 500 BCE or 1200 BCE, it is between those periods that the Bible was written. So, the story of the Anunnakis, the Sumerian, they were existing longer before the time of Israelites, before the time when Genesis was even written by Moses. 1,000 centuries, they were already existing. They already wrote all these things down. So you cannot talk about the stories of the Anunnakis. It's either the Anunnakis were true, and if they are true, it simply means the Bible is false. Or if the Bible is true, then the story of Anunnakis are false. Let me just touch on some things that my audience care for. Um, a man, yeah. Um, also, my small story. Can I? Okay, it says, I loved a girl in my coaching from 10 mile away from my seat after loving her from distance of 10 mile in same classroom. I got to know she's Muslim and I am Hindu. Then we have been in relationship for 3 months. Then she broke up with me because her mother said we will not. She's not going to let something. I'm just trying to going to let you marry to Hindu boy. And after 3 months of breakup, she came and proposed to me. I'm going with the story of the Anunnakis. It's true. Okay, that's for Lisa. And I'm sorry, Lisa, I'm coming back to that. And as I was broken after breakup, but I rejected her proposal, but I still love her. Sometimes you flow with your head, sometimes you make decisions with your heart. When it comes to love, you make decisions with your heart, though you have to apply a little of your brain. I love her, but we have no future because of differences in religion, and now I don't know what to do. Uh, it's a good experience in your life. You might feel the heartbreak, you might feel broken, but I bet you after a period of time, it might take you 8 months, especially if she tends to be the first girl in your life. It might take you 8 months, 1 year to recover, but trust me, it will make you a better person. Just experience everything that is going to. Don't kill yourself. Don't. I wouldn't say you shouldn't think about it because the thought of it is definitely going to overwhelm you. But just experience it. Know that you truly love her. Just admit to yourself that you love her and make your decision for 2 years without even telling her. Loved her for 2 years without even telling her. And now you have gotten to a place where you feel both of you can't work anymore. And as much as you understand that, yes, you go ahead. The problem might be, I wouldn't tell you that the solution is for you to start looking for another lady. I think it is for you to have a vision for your life and what kind of woman would you want in your life if perhaps you can achieve the vision, or if perhaps you're going towards your dream or your vision, so that most likely you would not fall into the same experience over and over again. So that's why I said no to a propose her. She might find someone in life, but it's very difficult to say no to someone you love. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have a good heart at the end of the day. You are not trying to take advantage of her. And that's a great one. Not trying to take advantage of her. It's a great one. I applaud you for it. It's a phase in your life, it's a season. You're growing. As time goes on, you will grow past it. So back to what I was saying with Lisha. So when we look at it, because for me, when we look into the Bible, you can break it down into many versions, you can break it down to many paths, and you will see a lot of things that are not accurate. You would see too many things that are not accurate. And the problem is, um, it rub most people the wrong way due to their belief. And this is what they have held on to for a very long time. Thank you, sir, for listening. Thank you also. BK, if you also have a question, let your question come in. How are you doing? Hope you're doing great. Hope you're holding yourself strong. And the thought of the man is not bothering you that much. Hope you're having a better plan so you don't fall into the trap of um, of the person we were talking about yesterday. So when you look at the story of the Anunnakis, I agree. Iman you're right. Sometimes letting her go is the love language. I agree with you. When we look at the story of the Anunnakis, it looks a little bit it kind of makes some kind of sense. It kind of paints exactly the picture from the beginning. BK says, yes, my priority is my school and career. I'm happy to hear that. Yes, for now, that's what you should focus on. Absolutely. It's good. Whenever you have any situation going on with him and you really want to talk about it, anytime, you can go to my page and maybe write me through email or WhatsApp and we can talk about it in case you're going. If you need someone to discuss with and you don't have someone you want to talk, yeah, just feel free anytime. So, on the stories of the Anunnakis, due to the idea of the deities, the only thing is that when we look at the stories of the Anunnakis, it kind of fits into the pictures of the aliens. It kind of fits into the pictures of the aliens. And right now, the same conversation of what has happened thousands or centuries ago, the same question is popping up right now. And the question that is popping up does not align with the things of the Bible, but it's aligning with the things of the Anunnakis. Regardless of the fact that the religion of the Anunnakis has actually been pushed away. Right now, I even think that the religion of the Christianity or Muslim, or I think Christian first will go before Muslim. But I think couple of years, maybe 100 years from now, 50 years from now, Christianity might be obsolete. And I know most Christians wouldn't want to hear it. It's going to be painful. They want to defend it and the rest of it. But as long as you know how to practice the, and maybe people would have to transcend into the spiritual path rather than just following the religious path, or a different religion is going to be established. I don't know how it's going to happen, but you can see whenever people begin to find fault over year and year, then it doesn't make us find a way to rely on that particular religion. So I would say that on the aspect of the Anunnakis, I was saying something that when we want to have this conversation, I have to paint it in a different light, and we have to have a different stream to really talk about it. So I wouldn't go here and come here, go here and come here. It's unfortunate. This afternoon would have been a great time for us to discuss about it. Because when it comes to the Bible and even the story of Enoch, the book of Enoch that was removed from the Bible was actually extracted from the stories of the Anunnakis. So when you actually look at it, part of these things were part of these things that the Egyptian mysteries had. These were part of the practices from the Egyptian mystery, Empire of Carthage. I think I've heard about it. I think I've heard about it. Let me say again. Empire of Carthage. Yeah. What's going on here? Because when we look at all this path, we are the the Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Akkadians, these particular s- empires were all existing before um, Israelites actually exist. In fact, Egypt was actually existing before Israelites. And concerning the Empire of Carthage, I think it should be around that same time. But most especially, I think it is something that has to do with maybe current day. Part of it is what moved to maybe Lebanon or something like that. That has to do with maybe Northern Africa stuff. But I haven't really dived deeper into it. Oh, okay. So, okay. Yeah. So I think it's something that has to do with the Lebanon stuff within that particular environment. Maybe somewhere around Tunisia, stuffs like that. So there is an empire that has existed there for centuries. But I think it should be around maybe 10 BCE, maybe 10 BCE, 10, either 10, 9, or 8 BCE. In between, yes, it should be around that time. So, in reality, when it comes to the idea of Anunnakis, we would realize that they've already removed that part from the Bible. And in fact, I think that Moses actually removed the book. The book of Enoch was actually in the Bible, but I think what Moses did was he did a remix of the history of the Anunnakis, and he brought it and bring out a different version of it and presented it to the Israelites. Most of his ideology, if we remember carefully, Moses came from the land of Egypt. He was in the palace, so he already had more history and story. He said, no, King Solomon, don't you think? I did not get that picture very well. No, King Solomon. Are you saying King Solomon does not exist? Are you saying King Solomon don't exist? Marx is the changes of the Bible. Okay. What you're saying is that King Solomon changed a lot of things in the Bible. I think the only place it kind of makes sense because Bible is written in Hebrew, and when you look at the Ethiopian Bible is the original version of the Bible. And when you look at the Israelites, we have the people we call the Black Jews. These are part of the Israelites. And then you said Moses did. I'm saying King Solomon did. Okay, okay, okay. That might be true. We don't know. But you might be right. You might be right. Because at some point everything was in its place when we talk about the Ark of Covenant and the rest of it. Because the true story of the Bible, when you go through it, it wasn't the way it's being painted. So there's a possibility. The only place where I have the confusion is that when you read Genesis, all these parts are written by Moses. And even the word called Genesis does not really exist in the Bible. I think I have the book of Enoch. The first book was called the first book of Adam and Eve. It wasn't called Genesis. But that can make sense because it seems as if Solomon gave it a new title and called it Genesis. Because in the lost book of the Bible, we have what do they call it? We have the first book of Adam and Eve. We have the second book of Adam and Eve. We have the book of the secrets of Enoch. And so we can't say specifically. We have the protogen evangelism. We have too many things. The Apostles' Creed, all these things, even some of them are missing in the New Testament. But the reason why I am kind of skeptical is because there are also many things that are in the New Testament that was also removed. So who removed it? Was it Solomon that also removed the New Testament, because Solomon was already long gone before the establishment of the New Testament? And when you look at the New Testament, we actually have part of the things that are removed from the New Testament. We have the proto-evangelist, the gospel of the birth of Mary, the gospel of the first gospel of the infancy of Jesus Christ. We have the Apostle Creed, the Apostle of Paul, and Apostle of the, they call it Laodicans or Laodicans, the Act of Paul and Tertius, the first epistle of Clement to the Corinthians. We have the general epistles of Barnabas, and when you look at it, it's almost like 40 books was removed from the New Testament. And then you ask yourself, who is removing all these things? Absolutely. The Bible is taken from the Egyptian scrolls. That I absolutely agree. And it seems it was rebranded. And the reason why most of the stories in the Bible does not actually make sense, the beginning did not make sense. A lot from the beginning did not make sense. Because when you read the last book of the Bible, then you begin to see that Adam have two wives and the rest of it. The Roman Empire is responsible for the removal of some of the books. Amazing. Mr. Rusty, how you doing, sir? And the way they painted everything doesn't really make sense for me. That's the reason why and when we begin to talk about these things, a lot of people would think we are going mad. We don't know what we are talking about. But they are the only one who is reading only 66 books of the Bible every single time. And what they don't know, what you don't know is more than you. So whenever we are speaking, it looks as if we don't know what we are saying. Are the Anunnakis humans, sir? Well, according to what they said, it seems as if the Anunnakis are the ones who create humans. And it seems part of the things they said was they actually had to kill one of theirs to breathe in life into human after they made humans from the soil. Now, one of the things they also said, this is I'm just a person who is always skeptical about everything. We cannot really know the exact truth, the complete truth. We can only be skeptical. Now, the reasons why the Anunnakis came to Earth in the first place was basically because they were seeking for gold. And they created man simply because of gold, so that we can start walking around and producing all these things for them so they can build their own planet where they came from. But when I look into the stories also, there are a few things that are kind of shaky also there. Hello, 6 billion world. That's what the book says. When you read through the Sumerian tablets, that's what it says. So the question is, why gold? Gold meant something to them. So they needed humans to create the gold for them. Ah, um, uh, let me. I'm trying to find something here. Mm. So it has something to do with gold. And so they created man so that we can walk from the soil and till the ground for them. And I'm like, if these entities, if these deities are very powerful, how come do they need humans to do these things? And part of those stories was part of the stories that were in Genesis, where they created man and they created man to be able to do certain things. And men actually moved after a period of time, men begin to do their own thing rather than doing what the deities that created man asked them to do. And so, if you look at this text, after men begins to do certain things, they are to take men away, some of the men away. And this is what indicates the first man that was made and the rest of it. And they showed exactly how they talked about how they breathed life into human using the blood, mixing the blood of I've forgotten the name of one of them. And then they talk about some of them are the gods of rain, some of them work with the storm and the rest of it. And I'm like, sometimes some of these things are so complicated. Six billion words says that you should do a collaboration with Know Yourself, okay, on YouTube because it touches on what you are talking about, though it doesn't believe in God or Jesus. It follows Rastafarians. I don't know what I believe in. I just know I'm a seeker. I don't necessarily hold on to any belief. I'm just a seeker of truth. And for me, I do not practice any religion specifically. I only know of the practices to spirituality, and it is not specific. So, were the Anunnaki and Sumerian occupying the earth at the same time? That is exactly the question. That is exactly what I was thinking. You know, it came to a point where they destroyed some of the men who were existing at that time, and they kind of create a gene. When you look at humans, humans always love to worship things. Humans, we always, even from our birth, we always want to worship certain things. We want to idolize certain things. And they said that these things are part of us because they made us that way. And this is the reason why we add a lot of believers. So, how true are all these things? I think everything is questionable. The only thing that I see, and I might say that, okay, what is actually going on is when we start hearing the stories of the aliens that are coming, if it is true that aliens are actually coming to Earth, then it makes it seem as if the Anunnakis truly existed. Um, 6 billion world says that my best friend Deron also sends me information concerning the Anunnakis on Facebook, and it's very interesting to read about. Though I believe in God, however, I am not religious because I am way too curious to follow any religion. Aliens are here. Bill Gates looks like Roger from American Dad. Bro, when Trump got shot, I feel like someone missed the opportunity to shout Donald Duck. So these are very interesting perspective. I would have loved to do some stuff, talk about few things regarding Bill Carson seems like an alien because he has very few facial expressions. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, one thing I look about Billy Carlson is when I look at his wife looks so different looking at him. And how do they have the curiosity towards those kind of stuff? Everything looks so it seems like someone coming back to awaken the consciousness of people in the technology age. Since since Billion World says, I pretty much question everything that doesn't seem right or just or makes sense to me. Roster says, what if we are the alien? I don't know if I would say we are the aliens. I think alien simply means something. And the word alien simply means something that is foreign, that you are not used to, something that is new to you. Let's do it this way. Humans can never be the alien because the definition of alien is a person, animal, plant, or other thing which is from outside the family, group, organization, or territory under consideration. So humans have been on Earth for many generations. If we have been on Earth for, you see, most people can only record during the time of the Bible and during the time of the Egyptians, during the time of the Sumerians, during the time of the Babylonians. These generations were existing long time ago, thousands of years. We are talking about centuries before the Bible was written. Comparing it to now, we have occupied Earth for millions of years. And so, how can we be here for that long and we call ourselves aliens? If we have been occupying Earth for that long, we can never be alien because something that is alien is something that is new to the environment, that does not look like part of the group of these people. And that's why when someone leaves from one particular country to a different country and you're not part of that group, they can call you an alien. So humans cannot be alien.
So we don't know exactly what is out there to say that with confidence. The only thing that can be alien is something that is coming to us. It's not we. And so if that is true or that is not true, I don't have so much information on those stuff. The only thing we know is that it is the information they give to us. That's only what we work with. Google cannot be trusted that much. Wikipedia cannot be trusted that much. Books cannot be trusted that much. The Bible cannot be trusted. So, if not because the Bible has failed us and people cannot see for those who have made research about the Bible, if not because the Bible has actually failed mankind by not showing the complete information, maybe now we wouldn't be going far as talking about the Anunnakis and the rest. But at the end of the day, the only thing we are interested in, did they get all the gold that they needed? Well, according to the scroll, they always come. And so there was no specific if they had everything that they want. But it seems they had enough to go back to their planet and to take care of the issues there. It seems they have enough gold. They were able to get enough gold through the flourishing of mankind. And they were able to move back to the planet. To their planet. There is a book called The Ancient of Information with all sorts of theories, LOL. Where did the giants come from and what was their purpose? Where did the giants come from and what was their purpose? I would say at the end of the day, most of these things would start with speculations. We can start with speculation, and then most of them can make sense at the end of the day. Some of it can make sense. Now, the question you raised about the giants seems as if it's true. Why? There were times where they talk about these particular entities coming down occasionally to have intercourse with women. Now, if we remember going to the Bible, the same thing was recorded in the Bible as angels, the fallen angels. The angels that God sent, and then they had intercourse with people, and then they begin to. So there's a story about that. Now, looking at it for what we can actually observe, when you look at in the 1960s compared to our size, our parents, our forefathers were more bigger than us. It seems generation after generation, we are becoming smaller. We are becoming smaller. So looking at from 1940s, 1960s, the sizes of the body of humans are reducing. Possibly maybe the chemicals. Maybe we were big giants before, and now we begin to become, we are becoming smaller in size. Testosterone level is going down. Maybe the kind of food we are eating, everything is making us shrink little by little. So we can't say Rusty higher in power to enslave others. They obviously didn't conceptualize justice and fairness, as Osis Billion Word says. So drafts are just more advanced. Yeah. When it comes to the idea and we want to look at humans, we can always ask ourselves questions. Why do we all look different in one way? We basically know nothing about our existence for sure. Trust me, we don't. We don't. Looking at it from the angle of religious perspective and the rest of it, for the Anunnakis to actually go out, they were being overthrown by the Israelite, the Babylonians actually were being overcome by the Israelite, and little by little they stole their religion, and then everybody begins to make all kinds of story. We really don't know. We can't really say we know anything. The only thing we have left is certain experience that we can have here. And trust me, some things can only be possible to understand also if you are from the African culture, because our views also on all these things are absolutely, it differs. And this is not, some people, when we talk about some things, a lot of people will say is what do they call it, superstitious statements. We can call them superstitious until you come to Africa and you witness things with your own eyes. So when we say people die, and then we say people initiate the spirit of someone, have the spirit of someone, talk to the spirits, talk to your ancestors, talk to all these things. It is not something you say on social media. You would look crazy. They will use it against you in future. So even when there are some things when I want to say them, I just hold it, because I know the world we live in today. Maybe tomorrow I'm trying to do something very important. They will say this guy is kind of crazy. Look at his views about life. Look at what he was talking about. Do you think this guy will be okay? Look at his kind of belief system. These are the reasons why when it comes to some of these stories, I kind of hold back. Say, if I could leave Earth and go with the Anunnaki, would you? The devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. All I know is this. In reality, all we know is what we have. Good evening, Woniak 917. I cannot have any interest with the Anunnakis. Do I want to go with giants and I'm the only ants among them? Do they have technology? Do they have phone? Are they going to give me children to play with? Humans are built for Earth. I wasn't expecting to stay this long, but Weniak, long time ago. How has your day been? Fine. It's been a while. Iman Giri says tomorrow is her birthday. Should I wish her or not? If you want to walk away from love, all you have to do is keep your mouth quiet. You can always be friends with her in the future when your heart is in a better space. But if you want to walk away from someone and you still want to wish the person happy birthday when you know there's this affection and love and emotions that you have with that person, you would not be able to flow. You are just even doing more damage to your own emotions. 6 billion say, how is that we initially globally believed in multiple entities, and then when Christianity came up about, most of us conformed in monotheism? 6 billion word, according to that, humans are always forced to believe in things. According to the culture of Africa, for example, in our history, we never believed in Christianity. And if they have given Christianity to us as an option, we would have spit in their face. When you have to kill people, burn people's house, kill a lot of people, and you say, if you don't accept this religion, we would destroy your city. People conform. The problem is that some of us are the third generation, fourth generations. So during the time of slavery, part of slavery, when you catch the first generations that you want to make a slave, what you do is you have to capture them, you have to tie them, you have to tie their neck, you have to make them feel like a slave. They work. But when they begin to bear children, you don't necessarily have to put physical bondage on their hand. You can just psych them mentally and automatically they comply. So that's what happened in Christianity. So right now, a lot of people are defending the same thing that took their ancestors away from them. A lot of people are defending what destroyed their nation in the first place. And so they defend it with confidence. In fact, they speak in tongues and the rest of it. So Fela will call it colonial mentality. That's what Africans, when they say you the colo mentality or you the colo mental, that means you have a colonial mentality. Last time we spoke about microplastics. Yeah, lovely. Okay, well, I think she will think I am bad if I didn't wish her. Okay, if you still love her, go back to her. You have to make up your mind at some point and take your future more serious. If you think she's the end of the world, you would realize I'm not the last person or the first person to tell you anything, but I think that life will teach you some stuff. The only thing is that you can let life teach you the hard way or the easy way, or hard way or the other way, because it's both going to be hard. Right now you're in the hard way. Maybe you have to experience it in the other way. You already know it can't work, so wishing her or finding favor from her is not going to do you any favor. 6 billion words says Anunnakis and the Sumerian left us and we were polytheistic. Okay. Winiak says, I saw roots. So now we believe in monotheism and we fight each other all the time. No, I can't. There is no future. My parents and my everything. Aha. Winiak, I most likely would have forgotten our conversation. Our previous conversation. What 6 billion word is saying is that we are fighting ourselves. See, the spirit of mankind is kind of corrupt in a way. Humanity, there's corruption inside of us. And because of that corrupt part, no matter what we choose, either religion, whatever institution we build, evil finds its way to get to the top. And once evil gets to the top, what happens is that a lot of us conforms because evil begins to manipulate. Look at the church for today. You are going to see that most churches, we have too many fake pastors. And you ask yourself, how do we get to that angle? Or how do we get here? Whereby there are so many fake pastors everywhere. The beginning of time. We are fighting ourselves due to a religion that we never started within the beginning of time. That's the power of colonial mentality. You see, most times when we fight about things, when we fight in life, most things we fight for doesn't make sense. But I can tell you for a fact, this is my belief, or will I say my view, or my perception, or my opinion. I think humans always love to fight, regardless. Every other thing is just an excuse. If there was no religion, people will find reason to fight. Most of the places where they don't believe in religion, they fight. And I think the problem with people is that we haven't learned to love. Love is the biggest thing. And somehow we have to create something for the masses. Because if there's no platform for the masses where there can be rules and regulation, then there would mostly be issues. Because it's the divide among ourselves. You see, when a Christian, trust me, a Christian will tell you that he has one God. Christian will tell you that Christian and Muslim, they are serving one same God. One God is Allah, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, when shit hits the fan, the Muslim and the Christian begins to kill each other. And they believe in one God. People fight for what they believe in. And humans, we always want to hold on to belief because belief makes our life easy. How many people have the ability to think? In life, people do not have the ability to really think. Not everyone has the ability to think. This is the reason why you can even see a lot of educated people. For them to think is still a problem. They can think about what they've learned in school and they can become a professor on this, professional on this and that. But for them to think for themselves, to make the right choice for themselves, it is difficult. So they need guidance. Even education does not liberate you to know how to think. Education only makes you know the right between certain perimeters. Because the law that governs you here is not the law that will govern you in another environment. The culture and tradition and perceptions that people have in this environment will definitely be different from another environment. So humans would always find reasons to fight. I didn't plan to stay this long. And one of the reasons why I came live earlier was to touch on what $6 billion, the message you sent to me. I wanted to address it, to look into it just for like 20 minutes. But every time I come live, one way I'm always glad that I have established a kind of family. Everybody would just say, we learn and the rest of it. Our youths to think for themselves. One thing is for them to think for themselves. One thing is for them to know how to think or make the right choice for themselves. Because the idea to think for yourself is there are only kind of two thoughts: the thought for now and the thought for a very long time. And some of these things change over time. So there is no specific, the beauty about life is that there's no narrow way for all things. There are certain principles that are always there for life, but you can't teach people properly how to make the whole decisions in life. The only thing you can do is you can give them certain foundations on how they can actually function in life. I think that sometimes few things like thought, spirituality, and the rest of it, I think some of these things could be gifts. Look at it in this angle. There are some people that are very gifted in music, very good in music. They need someone who can think to make their music become a business. If you try to teach them how to make business, the gift of the music would no more be sound. So they just need to know how to choose the right person in their life. Some people would have like if I am doing something, I rarely do it. But if I do anything because of money, if money is the cause of why I'm doing something, I can't think properly. It messes with my head. It's like I'm disconnected somehow. But I need someone who knows how to manage money, who knows how to use money, and the rest of it. Like for me, I know how to do things that I can be gifted, I can be blessed, I can invest in something, but I don't know how to manage money. I don't know how to become that business-oriented person. So what I did was to look for someone who knows how to do all of that. Like okay, he said, I agree. However, even if you believe in something that causes division like Christianity, you can still understand that no one is the same. So to stop a person from having the same right as you do too. Okay, the end, I did not get the end very well, but I think I can agree. However, even if you believe in something that causes division like Christianity, you can still understand that no one is the same. So to stop a person, difference in sexual orientation, sexuality, religion, social, economical differences, etc. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is when people begin to infringe on other people's right, that's when it becomes problem. Managing your finances have more to do with personal development such as discipline and delayed gratification more than the money itself. Kevin Leaps, I actually appreciate. You're right. I am very good at delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is why I am very good at investments. Just because I'm good at investment does not mean I'm good at business. However, with the fact that many people don't make a lot of money, it is difficult to save money because all the money they have goes towards necessary expenses. I absolutely agree with you. It's despite the fact that we don't believe in the same things. Teaching equality despite the fact that we don't believe in the same things. You see, all these things, all this belief, I think to every core, everyone has some kind of belief in one thing or the other, and it is due to their experiences. The problem is that majority don't even know why they believe in what they believe, and that's where the foolishness actually comes in. And you say we should respect people based of sexuality, based of this, based of their belief and the rest of it. I respect the Christians as much as I respect the Muslims, and I know my boundaries around all these people. But I identify myself as spiritual, not as religious. When it comes to sexuality, the problem is that, let's put it in this perspective. If you're a lady on YouTube right now and you like me, you would address me, you would say, the man of thought, I think I like you. Can I get to know you? This is a respectful conversation. If I meet a lady and I see a lady on YouTube and I like the lady, I'll most likely say, hello, can I get to know you, and the rest of it. When you see most people who are part of the alphabetical order people, when they come on your YouTube channel, they begin to ask you, can I see your ding dong? Are you a gay? Are you blah, blah, blah? Is that right, or are they abusing rights? And you see most of these people come on live every single time. And so they are first hand in conversation or in communication, majority, not all of them, but majority of them. Even this evening, I had to caution one. I'm like, don't you think properly? Just because you have an orientation that is different from other people, does it mean that whatever platform you find yourself, you have to talk about your sexuality and how you just, that's just what you take forward. Lisa says that's good. Business has many aspects. For example, many people that start up companies hire CEOs to manage them, and then they focus on the product or service to enhance the productivity and profitability. That's true. Simon Yekwere say, hello, brother. Your views are most times convoluted. You are very speculative and judgmental. Yes. Yes, I'm judgmental. Absolutely. I'm speculative. Absolutely. It's convoluted. Absolutely. Because when it comes to the idea of existence in mankind, it is easy for you to make a decision to give people law. And you say, this is the law. This is how it's supposed to be. But in reality, how can it be applied? So when you say speculative, you don't have to trust everything you see and everything you hear. So I'm always speculating on everything. When I talk to people, I question myself while I talk to you. I'm asking, even though this is true for me, just because I experience something and it works for me that way, it doesn't mean if I tell you to do the same thing, it's going to work for you that same way. So I keep questioning myself on how do I make sure you get the result you're actually looking for? And when you say I'm judgmental, I have to be able to draw certain boundaries. In life, a man who is a friend to everybody is an enemy to themselves. I repeat, a man who is a friend to everybody is an enemy to himself. There's a reason why there are countries and there's a reason why there's a border. There is a purpose, even regardless of the fact that I talk about spirituality, there's an importance of individuality. And in the individuality, there are boundaries. So if I don't know my boundaries and I let somebody else to encroach on my boundaries, simply because the person has a different ideology, and we cannot know each other's boundary, and you come on my life and you start telling me that, am I a gay? Let me bring out my ding dong. And you say, and I know you are this particular alphabetical people, and you say I'm judgmental, I have to put down my boundaries. Despite many people professing religion, religious illiteracy is a big thing even amongst practitioners of a single religion. For example, many Christians or Muslims have not studied the text properly. So I say those are trolls, not people who are respectful despite having differences in sexual orientation. It is common for many to follow their prophets or authors versus the religious itself. And a lot of people, according to what Kevin Lips is actually talking about, a lot of people actually believe in their pastors. They don't even read the gospel. They don't even read the gospel. All too often, I hear people speak about biblical concepts that are not in the Bible. Absolutely. The problem isn't if people are homosexual or bisexual, but a lot of people in the alphabet community tend to be very aggressive with pushing their belief despite claiming to be open and liberal. That's exactly what I'm saying. Everything becomes about identity, such as race or being persecuted. For example, the Western world pushing or culture upon African countries. Itaya Mio. Itaya Mio. And in some cases, accepting to the contingency of acceptance the ideology such as the alphabet community. If the Africans have accepted alphabetical ideology for a very long time, would they have people that they will be saying that come to our country and come and work? Canada will be calling Africans. Every other country will be calling Africans. Do you need a visa to come for work? Do you need a visa to come and do this? Because the result is in the population crisis. For foreign aid. And so, if I am an African and I say that this ideology you have, as a person, if you speak to me as a human being, I will respond to you as a human being. If you speak to me as an individual, I will respect you or talk to you as an individual. But if you come to me on any manner and the first thing that come out of you is just your sexuality and you want to put that on me basically because of one thing, I don't give a damn. When it comes to either money or whatever, I know my boundaries. That's what makes me an African person. I'm not saying the Chinese are the best people, but at least they do business more than focusing on foreign policy for financing. Lisa says, however, for some reason, the Western nations don't bother trying to force homosexuality on the Arab nations. Why? The moment you are doing financially or you are doing kind of financially successful, it means you are kind of liberated. For people to push out some kind of ideology to you, it becomes a little bit difficult. When people have strong belief in something and they liberate themselves and they really don't need anything from you and they are not asking you for anything, you cannot force your beliefs on those kind of people. It is basically because they understand that Africans are struggling to make their nation work. That is the reason why they always try to impose some of those things. It's as simple as ABC. Kevin Leaf says Arab nations are very profitable and they work with many people in the West, such as the Bush family, which is connected to the Saudi royals. So, my people, Africa doesn't need anything from any other nation, either, not for real. It's just that all of your leaders are not united. That's it, that's all. I absolutely agree. If someone tells me the truth, I know when someone is telling me the truth and when someone is boboing me. African, we have a lot of resources here. The problem is we are not taking advantage of it. We are talking about the issue of fuel right now. Dangote fuel is so clean and pure, and our government are not even helping us when it comes to the idea of fuel, are not even supporting the individual so we can have more. So the problem of African is in the leader, like you said, you rightfully said. So when someone tells me the truth, all I want from people is the truth. And when I speak to people, I am also open to the idea of learning. If you can convince me and you can bring out good conversation, I would appreciate it. You mentioned that the Bible will become obsolete in the future. Are you willing to say that about nations and countries? What is appearing? Okay, let me put it this way. A lot of people right now in today's world, a lot of people question Christianity or religion. And it is based off the questions people are actually focusing on. If you go on social media right now, what do we see? We see a lot of things going on. And most of it goes with relationship and religion. Relationship and religion. And the more people's eye begins to open to different paths, you know, there was a time whereby Christian or Muslim, these are almost like the two biggest religion in the world. Right now, we are having all kinds of religion. And because we are having all kinds of religion, will it be restored? I don't know. Can there be a solution to it on Christianity? I don't know. And when it comes to the idea of nations, who can predict? I can't predict that yet. Because number one is even a sensitive topic. Because when we call, if I call some countries who are fighting war right now, YouTube will notify, the algorithm will notify my statement, and then I might have issue with my channel. Some countries that are fighting war. So if those particular countries will go obsolete, I can't even mention them. Because if I do, YouTube don't want me to say it. Yeah. Okay, being speculative, being speculative is assumptions based on one's understanding. Convoluted is being unclear and mixed up poorly, and judgmental is reaching to conclusions without fact checking. I agree. I agree. But regardless of how convoluted, speculative, judgmental I am, I have a great chance of a lot of people discuss with me from various parts of the world. And I don't even act like a professional. I'm not a professional. I'm not smart. I don't tell you I'm educated. I don't do any of all these things. But a lot of people around the world reach out to me and we discuss on many things, many subjects. It must mean that there's something I am probably doing and it draws their attention and they seek certain things. Maybe I'm convoluted, maybe I'm speculative, maybe I'm judgmental, one of it. people can see it and they can trust it. Maybe I am real. Maybe I'm not someone who tries to be correct, who tries to be politically correct. Maybe I'm not one who tries to please people. Maybe what humans are actually looking for is a real human being who tells you exactly what it thinks. So speculative, assumptions, convoluted, unclear, mixed up, poor judgment, whatever thing you put it. I have a lot of people who agree. Sis Billion Word says, I agree, Sam. While I am a mystic and I study universal spiritual laws, various belief systems have their utility. Absolutely, Kevin Leaves, I agree with you. And one of the things a lot of people can say about me is I'm fake. I ain't fake. I ain't looking for people to like. I'm saying exactly what I think. Maybe if we humans can present ourselves exactly how we are, we can be understood by people in the world. Maybe it's because we say things we don't mean. We mean things we don't say. Maybe that's even what is convoluted. Maybe that is what is even unclear. Maybe that's what even spring up assumptions in people's mind because people are not clear enough. Maybe that's what makes people actually speculative. Maybe that's what makes people reach to wrong conclusions because they don't even know what you mean. Because you mask it with education, because you mask it with all kinds of things. I don't know, but I tell you what I think. And if I don't like something, I just tell you I don't like it. There's a big saying that says more than one way to see things, and the way you see the alphabet community is not entirely true. I am not, you see, this is the problem. I did not say the whole alphabetical people. I say some of them. Rusty says, if I present myself where I am, people ring the police for indecent exposure. This is the only place whereby people always have issues with me, saying that I have a bad perception when it comes to the alphabetical people. They are humans. I have repeatedly said it. They are humans. I respect them for being humans. And there are some who come around and they say they are gay, this. Their ideology should not be promoted. It is my own view. Why? The nation who promotes such ideology have less people, have less population after a period of 50 years, 20 years. So if Africans will be able to overcome the whole world and the whole world will have less population, that's fine for them. But I want the best for my own nation too. Kevin Leap says one speaks in generalities when speaking to a general audience. I beg go. Would it be possible for you to do a live in the future where the phone is facing the African sky at night and you can just talk to us while we're looking at the African sky? Maybe. Maybe. We will get there. We will get there. Look up the result of the Western world, for example. There has been a decline in various aspects that are necessary to ensure a successful society, such as family or culture. I don't have, see, one thing people don't really understand. Everything I say on this platform, I actually preach it in love. There is nothing I say here that I don't preach it in love. But that does not mean because I have to speak in love, then I have to, will I call it, accommodate ideas that I also understand the negative impact just so that I can sound polite. In life, you should be accommodating of other people's view. No one knows it all. Your best may not be good enough to others. If my best, just listen to the last word. Your best may not be good enough to others. Should I kill myself? In African, they say, do your best and leave the rest. So if I'm doing the best and it is not good enough for others, should I kill myself? All right, Lisa, noted. When there are stars or a full moon. Kevin Leaf says solution to Africa is not westernizing, but people building themselves up and establishing a culture for their benefit. The West has its benefit, but westernizing countries does not help. I can't think like the old world. I can't think to fix the old box. I can't complete. The only thing is, if I've been saying stupid things, trust me, I believe Samuel Yekwere wouldn't be here. If I'm talking about genitalia or talking about things that doesn't make sense, you wouldn't want to engage. You wouldn't want to engage. So I'm speaking based off my perspective. There are people who would, Joe Rogan knows how to do it better than me. No, but you should be open to learn from others and not harm yourself. How am I harming myself? How am I not learning? Rusty himself has taught me a lot on the platform. I have learned a lot from Lisa. I've learned a lot from a lot of people. The key to Africa liberation is unified leaders and removal of borders for purposes of trade, period. He says I shouldn't hurt myself. How am I hurting myself? Do I look like someone who is feeling bad? I am a happy man. I am a happy man. I have I have a happy family. I have a beautiful wife. I have beautiful children. I'm doing great. I have people in diaspora who I kind of care for. I have people who care for me. And depending on the subject we are treating, that's what I will focus on. But if you ask me for opinion, I will give you exactly my opinion. I have a very beautiful life. A very beautiful life. It might not be exotic like I'm driving Tesla and the rest of it, but I have a beautiful life and I'm satisfied. I have people that I will go to hell for, that I will die for. I have them in my life. I have the people who will be with me at the lowest of my life. So you made mention of, should I kill myself questions. Look at your question now. Look at your own question. You said that, look at what you were saying now. You said that these attributes are not absolute but relative. In life, you should be accommodating of other people's views. No one knows it all. Your best may not be good enough to others. I say, if my best is not good enough to others, should I kill myself? I still repeat it. If my best is not good enough for others, should I kill myself? It is a question. You said my best may not be good enough for others. And I'm saying, if my best is not good enough for others, should I kill myself? And I'm still asking, what should I do if my best is not enough? Wherever I see this, my platform is different. Everybody has a platform that they discuss things that concerns them. I know a little bit about history, and based off the things I know little about history, that's what I can talk on. Based off the information I have, based on the awareness I have, based off the consciousness I have, I open my mind. If you want a discussion, a deeper discussion, Babu Wahala. No, but be open to learn from others. I am very open to learn from others. I am very open to learn from others. Trust me, I am. Okay, yesterday we were having conversation and you said something about maybe culture and tradition. I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm willing to debate and let's see how far we would go. And when you came back in the evening and you told me that the idea was about Kamala Harris, I was like, okay, in the idea of Kamala Harris, I know nothing about Kamala Harris. Based off the information that is present with us, most people or some people will go for Donald Trump. If she wins, the earth will not come to an end. But I told you, I said, when it comes to Kamala Harris, I don't know much. I've got to go. Okay, Jaguar. Jaguar. No problem. Have a great day. Bye. If I don't know something, I will tell you I don't know. What I don't know, I do not pretend I know. There are countless of times I've been asked questions on the platform. If I don't know, I will tell you I don't know. If I would make research, I will tell you I will make research on it. But whatever I know, that's what I will talk about. Rossi says, Sam, is life you should be accommodating to other people's views. You don't seem very accommodating to his views, though. And Ron, you came a little bit late when we are already rounding up for today. Oh, thank you, Ron. I forgot to appreciate. Ron became a member. Thank you very much. I appreciate. So now, even if we have to have conversations, someone told me earlier today, told me about relationship stuff and whatever they were going through, and we spoke about it. Someone else will call me on live, and a lot of people have talked to me about relationship stuff, and I address it in the best of my ability. Now, there are others who will come on live and they will tell me, "Oh, guy, are you gay? Can you off your clothes? Can we see your dimples and the rest of it?" You want to tell me that person is not alphabetical? And I just tell you, hey, take that stuff you're asking me, take it somewhere else. To Africans, it is irritating. The same person who can come on live, to ask me those kind of question, can you go to Arab country? Can you go to the Islam country and go and tell them that accept me for my sexuality? I am a alphabetical person. And see what happens. Take it to the northern side and tell people that you're an alphabetical person, and so they should accept your view. You ain't going out that day. That is the end. That's the end. So just because I say I would not accommodate certain conversations with certain individual, if perhaps someone who tends to be a gay, if you have a gay relationship issue and you bring it to me, I can give you idea or advice, and I will tell you that I am limited to the kind of information I have. I will give you great advice. But when you begin to talk about trying to, are you seducing me, or are you, I don't know. One thing I love, the way you think despite our differences in certain topics. Okay, you said Ken Lips, okay, Ken Lips says, I grew up in the United States with people, many messages that come, people in the Ku Klux Klan. Wow. Whatever they talked about their racial ideology, I ignored it. The conversation was not productive and I did not participate. Rusty says, when you thrown off the building, you then okay. Samuel Yekwere says, I challenge you about Kamala Harris based on your biased opinion about her claiming that she's been unclear about her race. No. What I said was that she tries to identify herself with the blacks in some of our interviews, in some of our conversations. And she never used to. Previously, she never identifies or try to, seek for the relationship or talk to the blacks like she is one of them. At least Candace Owen, regardless of the fact that Candace Owen talks about few things about the blacks, and she might not sound very cool when she's talking about the blacks when she was working with the Daily Wire, the Ben Shapiro's. But she identifies herself as blacks every single time. She never denies her race or tries to suit into Ben Shapiro's race or to become a Jew. So Kamala Harris act a little bit political. Yes, she's Indian, I know. But when you ask her earlier, she started talking about blacks. This is the reason why you can see currently most of the black communities are not supporting Kamala Harris. Initially, they wanted to, but when they begin to realize that she's trying to play games with them, most of them started saying, we wouldn't want to identify ourselves. She's not part of us, because they can understand the tricks she's trying to play. Technically, she's mixed, but she's not a stupid lady, and she knows how to play to her audience. Mixed people always identify with the side that benefits them at the given time. That was exactly what I was saying. Lisa has helped me. Maybe all my language of newspaper, all these sentences I've been trying to make, she has summarized it for me. mixed people always identify with the side that benefits them at the given time. That was exactly what I was trying to say to Mr. Sam Onyekwere. That was exactly what I was trying to make him understand. Maybe the way I presented it made him think I am biased based of it, and it could be right, depending on what you hear me say. And that's why I clarified myself yesterday evening that I don't have much issues with Kamala Harris. No, they don't have to be. Mixed people don't have to be demonized. That's not what we are saying. Now, when Lisa actually says mixed people, she wasn't talking about all mixed people. This is the problem. We cannot speak in a language that you wouldn't find loopholes. And this is, sometimes I talk to people about spirituality, and I always say, when I try to talk about spirituality, some things you experience in spiritual world, you cannot use your words to actually articulate it, because in every word we say, there's always a loophole to it. When Lisa says mixed people always identify with the side that benefits them at the given time, she wasn't saying that mixed people. She was only saying that someone, for example, like Kamala Harris, could always mix stuff like this. So mixed people can never be demonized, shouldn't be demonized. I don't think it makes any sense. Liv says, or whenever Jesus helped the poor. Okay, Lisa says, exactly. With that being said, my brothers and sisters, I love having conversations with you guys. My plan today was to talk to you guys for like 20 to 30 minutes maximum. But every time I come live, you guys make us have these great conversations, and I don't know. I am really grateful for it, including Samuel Yekwere, 6 billion, Mrs. Billion, everyone. I always appreciate you guys every single time. Please take care of yourself. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe to the channel. Thank you, 6 billion. I really like your conversation. Yes, ma'am. Have a great day. Please, everyone, take care of yourself. In politics, your outreach is key. Samuel Yekwere, we will continue next time. Good night. Bye-bye for now. Bye.